Let me get this straight. Last week, Jennie had to be investigated by the city because people complained she was violating social distancing guidelines by being with a group bigger than 5 people. Which, by the way, in the last video, I said it would probably be a quick investigation because if it was business, there would be paperwork. And boom, that's exactly what proved it. It was revealed that YG Entertainment had already submitted an application and received consent from the Arboretum to film there. Here's what I don't understand. The quarantine rules are obviously taken very seriously, right? I mean, some people were ready to take Jennie down because of the assumption she was breaking those rules for leisure. After seeing that situation blow up for 7 people, how did any of these people think it was okay to surround and swarm twice at the airport 1 week later? And it's not just that they're close in proximity. You can see people bumping into them just to record and take pictures. Into Jihyo specifically, Mina is seen gripping Jihyo's wrist. If Jennie almost got in trouble for working with 7 people, either these people should be facing the same possible consequences and more, or you're telling me all of them got permission from the airport to do this. A lot of fans are asking how is this still happening? Not just because we're currently in a pandemic, but because this happened to twice not so long ago. That time, Jihyo actually fell because the airport was so chaotic that someone else fell, causing Jihyo to also fall, resulting in Sana and Chaeyoung having to help her to the car the rest of the way. Fans are urging JYP Entertainment to be better prepared to prevent situations like these, especially in a pandemic, especially when it's happened multiple times now, and especially when JYP has not been viewed positively for the way they've handled multiple situations lately. And this week, even ITZY revealed that they, and I find this so fascinating, as a group decided they were going to leave JYP together. Now, we're not sure exactly what the entire situation was, but Chaeyoung mentioned the difficulties of being a trainee, the pressures of monthly evaluations, in her case, for 7 years straight. That's when the girls revealed that before they debuted, they joined hands and tried to collectively leave JYP Entertainment. After this, people found recent and past clips of them maybe joking, but maybe hinting at their feelings toward the company. Another interesting aspect fans have connected is SOMI. We know SOMI was going to be a part of ITZY because we've seen the pre-debut profile pictures. One thing is that just like Chaeyoung, she has also spoken about the difficulties and insecurities she developed during her training. A lot of these things, the timing, the specific struggles, all of these things line up at least on the surface. When SOMI left JYP Entertainment, there were people who assumed she did something wrong. She must have been kicked out because why else would she leave before debuting? But now a whole other side and perspective of that story just might be beginning to expose itself now that we know all of ITZY were ready to leave together. Now, does this mean SOMI leaving is connected to the other girls wanting to leave? We don't know that. We don't know if these two things are related at all. What ultimately changed that they did end up debuting under JYP after all? We don't know that either, and we won't really know any of these details for at least a few years, if ever, if they don't renew. Now, this story about them wanting to leave together came from ITZY themselves. But have you guys noticed that ever since they came back, there have been so many weird articles and news targeting or coming out about ITZY? From things about their outfits to starting a dating rumor between YEJI and SF9's YOUNGBIN. A few days ago, photos of a guy and a girl with red hair arm in arm dropped and spread online. For some reason, it started going around that these two people were ITZY's YEJI and SF9's YOUNGBIN out on a date. Just from some blurry-ish photos of people wearing masks from the side. Luckily, not everyone just hopped on and believed it was them two automatically. People questioning things like why would YEJI just go out with her distinct bright red hair not covered? Is YEJI the only girl in Korea with red hair? How do you even know that's YOUNGBIN? If it is, why couldn't that be his sister that he often hangs out with? And maybe my favorite thing to possibly debunk this was people comparing YEJI's ears to this girl's ears. I don't know, is it just a coincidence that this came out when these two are currently in the spotlight? ITZY with their comeback and SF9 on Kingdom. Neither JYP nor FNC Entertainment responded to this because I'm pretty sure there was nothing to respond to. And if this somehow does have any truth to it, I would like to paraphrase YG's usual response when it comes to these things. It's their private lives. That's one of the perks of dating while you're under YG, huh? And probably one of the reasons APINK's NAEUN has officially signed with them. Okay, that's obviously not the reason why she would sign, but is it not crazy that NAEUN is now signed with YG? I mean, yes, once you really sit back and think about it, it makes a lot of sense. She does have a connection. Her sister, who is a golfer, is signed with YG Sports. Yes, there is a YG Sports. As someone who has been a fan of APINK since their debut, I mean, I even remember when NAEUN was just teased in Beast music videos before APINK was a thing. And because of that, it is a little sad that only 5 out of 6 members re-signed, but it's not really a disbandment situation either. They even said the 6 members will continue as APINK, although NAEUN will be extremely busy focusing on her acting career now. However, this week, we did have to bid farewell to IZONE. April 29th, 2021 has come and gone. We saw the Japanese members emotionally heading home for now. Although Hitomi did surprise us with her Korean driver's license, so that does give us some hope she'll be back for something. Some of the other members' individual activities are beginning to get announced. The ones we don't know about are probably preparing for their group or solo debuts. Like Forbes said, this is a big loss for K-pop. The girls came onto the scene exceedingly strong with Lavia and Rose, stayed strong and got even stronger all the way to Panorama, one of my favorite songs of last year. I even love their song for Pepsi, and that's just a commercial. No, seriously, I've replayed Zero Attitude so many times. So here's to all of their futures. We're going to be watching and supporting each and every one. And while we're on a celebratory note, can you guys believe CHEN's baby girl is already 1 year old? That means it's been over a year since we got that amazing news of CHEN getting engaged and starting a family. Now, there were reports about the birthday party he held for his daughter, the location, what they were wearing, but we're not going to talk about any of that because that should probably be a private thing, especially when it involves his child. How did they even get that information? That's why media outlets were getting backlash for reporting the details revolving his daughter's birthday party, especially when there are people out there who actively hate on him for having a family. I mean, didn't you get the message from SOMI? Oops,